If you want to truly live, first you must die. This is the power of God mode. You are crucifying your ego. Your ego wants that constant hit. It wants that rush of excitement that you get when you look at a new woman's ass. When you lust over her. It feeds the ego. When you refuse to do that, when you refuse to be a slave to your own eyes, to your own ego, you start to die. Or rather, your ego starts to die. It starts to feel uncontrollable pain. It starts to feel anger, rage, depression. It starts to feel hatred because you are coming off a drug. The ego is dying. The identity that you thought you were, a slave of lust, a slave of your own desires, that identity is starting to die and shed like an old skin. So don't expect it to be without pain. Don't expect it to be all smooth sailing. Rather than running away from this death, if you want to accelerate your Christification, if you want to accelerate realizing who you are, shed off these old layers, you need to embrace death. Stop running from death. You are going to die one day. Now, if you knew that tomorrow morning someone was going to come and take your life, how would you live today differently? Do you think you would give a fuck about what people think about you? Do you think you would give a fuck about turning up to the job that you hate, that you despise, if you knew you were going to die tomorrow? Do you think you would give a fuck about people pleasing if you knew that you were going to die in the morning? Do you think you would be too afraid to make a YouTube video if you knew that today was your last day on earth, bro? Do you think you would hesitate in throwing your phone in the bin just to completely remove the temptation of corn from your life if you knew you were going to die tomorrow? So that you didn't have to waste your last day on planet Earth being a slave to pixels. You need to start putting yourself in situations that expose you to death. This is where a man finds his greatest power. When he's in a situation where he could die. An example is fasting. Don't eat for 3 days. If that's too easy, go for 7. You'll pretty quickly start to see what you need to do in your life. You'll very quickly realize the shit that you need to sort out in your life right now. Your brain goes into solution mode, creativity mode. Your brain kicks up a gear to a higher level when you fast. Because your brain and your body is worried that you're going to die. And it has to find a solution. It's a simulated death. Another one is go into the wilderness by yourself, be in isolation. Do a 24-hour retreat, take nothing with you, no food, no phone. Just take a tent, go into a national park with your tent and nothing else. No journal, nothing to make a fire, just your sleeping bag. You'll very quickly come in contact with yourself and with your pain. You'll very quickly know what it means to be afraid for your life when you're by yourself with nothing. These are the kind of situations our ancestors were in continually. This is why cavemen all looked like bodybuilders, because their testosterone was through the ceiling, because they were continuously facing death. Our modern world is way too comfortable. Dopamine saturation is real. The more access to easy dopamine you give yourself, the more you are living in an artificial, half-alive zombie reality. Nothing is crisp. Nothing is clear and snappy to your brain. It's a haze. It's a fog. Because you're saturated with dopamine. One by one, you need to cut off all of these limbs of your ego, which are pulling things to you, pulling things, feeding the ego like tentacles, pulling in a vape, pulling in a TV binge session, pulling in some casual sex, pulling in some corn. You need to cut off all of those arms. The fastest way to do it is to do a solo retreat by yourself. Just go into the forest. Take nothing with you except your sleeping bag and tent. Another one is breath work. You can simulate a death through doing breath work. I just did a 30-minute session. Towards the end of the session, I started feeling like I was being reborn. I started feeling like I was going through a death process in my body. There was all this energy coming up, all this old energy coming out of my cells, my intracellular matrix, and being released. There were moments where I was afraid that I was going to die. And then I surrendered. I let go. And every time you come out of a situation where you feel like you're going to die, you're a little bit less afraid of death. And you're a little bit more purposeful about living your life. This is the gift of death. You need to put yourself into scary situations. You need to challenge yourself as a man. If you're not challenging yourself as a man, you are becoming feminine. You are becoming softer. You are becoming weaker. This is why I say, go and start learning to fight. Nothing puts you in the here and now faster than when there's a guy standing in front of you who wants to beat the shit out of you. You won't be worried about tomorrow. You won't be worried about all the petty little things that you worry about. You won't be making up excuses to procrastinate. You'll be here and now, tasting everything this moment has to offer. Pure presence. That's the power of death. So start embracing the things that terrify you. Start walking into them. It's going to bring you to life. It's going to wipe away all these excuses. It's going to wipe away all of these weak feminine traits which you've been living by. Calling yourself an adjusted man, a well-adjusted man, acting like a woman. That's not well-adjusted. There was a quote. There's nothing healthy about being well-adjusted in a profoundly sick society. We live in a sick society. It's a matrix. Get back into contact with reality. You know what you need to do. Now go do it.